Hi, I'm Misty Reich, and I'm half of the Above and team. If you're not familiar with us, it's formed by myself and my friend Amy Christensen, who are both executive coaches, both ex-corporate HR professionals, and both of us wanted to form this together to see if there would be a way that we could take some of the common themes that we coach around and some of the challenges that our clients consistently have and create content that is easily accessible by people who might not otherwise be able to afford an executive coach. And so this is our journey. We're just beginning. And one of the pieces of the puzzle that we wanted to include was some sort of video format where we could answer questions that come up over and over again, and in a casual way where we can just really tackle the issues that, like I said, that people continually ask us about. And this week we're starting with a big question. It's like big life question, which is, what if I don't know my purpose? And this is something that we often tackle with people in a coaching relationship. In fact, quite often this is where we'll start in a coaching relationship, is just getting real clarity around where the individual wants to go. And that could be long-term, or it could be around a particular issue that they're grappling with at the moment. But this issue of purpose is one that's also really personal to me, because for most of my career, and I would say this is something that I'm still really thinking about, I've really struggled with this question of what is my purpose, and feeling really called to do something big and something, I don't know, really meaningful, and not being clear on what that was. And I would say that through much of my career, I probably wasted a lot of time spinning my wheels trying to figure out what my big purpose was going to be, and being really frustrated, if I'm honest, about my sense that people all around me had absolute clarity about their purpose, and somehow I missed the class on that, or I missed the bus when everybody got on and took the field trip where purpose was being given out. And I think the thing that's important for you to know is that I've realized, I suppose, that I would really want to share, is that I've learned that clarity of purpose, if that even exists, is not necessarily correlated with success in your career. And I have had an incredibly successful career by my definition, and I think by many people's definitions. I've run human resources for incredibly successful global organizations. I loved that work. It's not the work that I thought that I was going to do. I thought that I was going to be a broadcast journalist and on television, so now's my moment. But I fell into that career, and I remember when I started and I got my first job in HR, thinking, okay, well, I'll do this until I can find my real purpose and what I'm meant to be doing. And it's funny, because I ran HR for 2 large multinational corporations, and all in I spent over 20 years in HR. And at the end of my career, I was running a business outside of HR, but over 20 years in HR of me waking up most days, and certainly every Sunday night, thinking, okay, where am I going? What am I doing? Where is this all adding up to? And so I know this is a common question, and I think the first thing that I would say to you is you need to let go of the idea that if you don't have clarity about your purpose, that you're not going to be successful. Separate those things completely. The second thing, and the big takeaway from today, is I want to challenge us to reframe the idea of purpose. Think that it becomes very daunting if we're looking for that one big thing, like we're going to be hit by a branch off the purpose tree and it's all going to become clear in a flash of brilliance, and the angels are going to sing, and we're going to feel warm and glowy, and Oprah's lighting is going to shine down on us, and we are going to forevermore be skipping through life heading off to our destination because we have the one big purpose wrapped up with a bow on it. I don't know many people who have that level of clarity. In fact, I don't even know if I know anyone who does. What I have realized for myself, and I want to offer to you as a mindset shift, is that rather than seeking the one big future purpose for yourself, that instead we break it apart and that we put practices in place that allow us to every single day have clarity of purpose for that day. And that's a practice that I put in place probably when I turned 40. I did a lot leading up to my 40th birthday. I decided that was going to be a huge milestone for me. And one of the things is that I wanted to shed the anxiety I had about what am I meant to be doing? What's my calling? What's my purpose? And I decided to put in place a morning routine. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute because that's going to be the challenge for this week for you to take away and see if you can make some progress around clarity of your thinking. But I want to give you a mental word picture to cement this idea. And I was thinking about this whole topic, and for me, I immediately thought of something my family likes to do. We like to put together puzzles, puzzle people, and we're not the best at taking care of our puzzles. And so we have some puzzles that are still in their box, like this guy, which is great because you've got the picture of the puzzle on the outside. But then we have some puzzles that for some reason, over the years, we've lost the boxes. And so we just have the pieces to the puzzle. And I was thinking about this whole idea of, you know, the one destination, the one purpose in life, and how that has eluded me and it's felt daunting. And that mental word picture is, I think of that mindset as though I'm on a road trip in a foreign country and I have to get to a certain location by a certain time. And I think about it like I don't have a map. If I don't have a map, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where the ultimate destination is. Something bad could happen to me. And if I think about the way for most of my career I felt about lacking purpose, that's the physical feeling I had. I had a sense of panic that I don't really know where I'm going, and that somehow that is going to jeopardize me. It's going to jeopardize my ability to achieve at the level I want to achieve at, my ability to attain success that I wanted to have, my ability to feel fulfilled on a daily basis. What I want instead to present as a potential mental word picture, instead of the road trip without a map, which could be really risky, and there's only one destination you can get to at the end of that, and you have to get to that destination, and there's probably only one or two routes that you could take to get there. Instead, what I want you to think about is the journey to your purpose, air quotes, as more like putting together a puzzle. In a puzzle, you have pieces. So this puzzle has 300 different pieces. I can't tell you how many pieces this puzzle has. The puzzles, they come in boxes with the picture on the outside, so that the puzzle that you're putting together, you can reference the picture as you're putting the puzzle together, which is super, super handy, but it's actually not essential. And this puzzle, I don't know what the picture is. It would have been helpful if I had written a note on the outside of the bag, but I don't know what the picture is. I don't know what it's ultimately going to look like exactly. I can tell that it's got really bright colors. The pieces are small, but I can still put this puzzle together. It's not going to be any faster or slower than me putting this puzzle together, because for me anyway, having the picture just doesn't help that much when you've got 300 pieces laying on the table. Each individual piece has to be put in place on its own, and it has to be, you know, where it's meant to be in the overall context of the puzzle. It doesn't matter which pieces I put together in which order. I could start on the outside and create a frame, or I could start in the middle, or I could start with a certain set of colors that I think fit together. And I think this is a better word picture for us. The idea of where we're going in life. And ultimately, instead of purpose, maybe the concept is having our life add up to something that's bigger than us and something that matters as opposed to not. And I love the idea of the puzzle, because at the end of your life, if you pick each day as a puzzle piece and you're intentional about how you color, that puzzle piece, and what you put into that puzzle piece, day after day after day, you end up with, at the end of that, a really beautiful picture. And if every day you're really intentional about spending your time on things that are really relevant to your values and to your goals, and that align with things that give you energy as opposed to things that take away your energy, then at the end of your life, when you look back, you are going to see that it all has added up to a bigger picture. And to me, that's a relief. That's a relief to think about it in those terms. And for me, one of the things we'll probably talk quite a bit about in these videos is mindset, because to me, mindset shifts are more powerful than almost anything else you could do when you're trying to achieve success. And one of the tools that has been hugely instrumental for me in achieving a mindset shift has been my morning routine. And specifically today, I want to talk about morning pages. I read a book by Julia Cameron called The Artist's Way. I would recommend it if you are interested in some practices around unlocking clarity for yourself. She is a teacher to creatives. She has a lot of tools and processes that she recommends for unlocking creativity. I've not ever considered myself a creative, but I find the tools really helpful, and specifically morning pages. So what I do each morning, hopefully each morning, it's not always every morning, is I have a notebook, and I use the Rocket Book Everlast. It's an erasable digital notebook that I absolutely love. We'll put a link below in the video to where you can get that on Amazon. It's a fantastic, fantastic notebook. You can scan things to your files, and I scan my morning pages and put them in an Evernote folder that's called Morning Pages. You write 3 pages of longhand notes every morning, and it's anything that's in your mind. Literally, it's a brain dump. And what I would tell you is this is challenging. I started this last November, and probably the first 3 weeks, my morning pages were something like this. I have no idea what I'm going to write today. I definitely don't have 3 pages of content. How do people do this every single morning? My hand's already cramping. I haven't written in a long time. That's literally what my journal pages were for the first few weeks. And then after I stuck with it, these little light bulbs started going off. I would be writing about something that I was upset about, or something that was troubling me, or something that I was stuck on. So my purpose, what I'm doing next in my career, I would just be writing about those things that were weighing on my mind. And if I just didn't overthink it and I just wrote, these little gems would start to unlock. And I have found the more I have practiced this, the more I have been able to create clarity for myself around some of the big questions for me that I've been grappling with for a long time, that have just been sort of knocking around in my brain, that have been creating angst and frustration, but I haven't been able to really scratch the itch of solving them. And this tool has been incredibly powerful. I talk to my clients about it a lot because I believe that putting a pen to paper now, from my experience, is one of the most powerful ways to get at the answers that actually are really already inside of us. Answers to big questions and small questions that we can't conjure up just sitting and speaking to ourselves out loud. So my challenge for you this week, if you're interested in having a go, is to, for 1 week, commit to morning pages. 3 pages, pen and paper, longhand, old school writing, whatever's in your mind. If this matter of purpose and finding clarity of direction for yourself is something that you're grappling with, it is absolutely appropriate to start your journaling with that. Where am I going? What is it that I'm going to accomplish? Where am I meant to be working? How do I want to spend my days? All of those questions, and get your pen going, and over a week, see what comes out. I hope that you take the challenge. I would love to hear from you if you do. Please know that if struggling with purpose and clarity, small or big, is something that you're grappling with, that you are definitely not alone, and it has no bearing on how successful you are going to be, okay? Take it from me. I ran HR for a number of years. I've spent probably 20 years coaching people. I have a lot of data points to go to say, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. In my own experience, even looking back now, I can tell I stressed about things that didn't need to be stressed about, but sometimes you can only know that in hindsight. So, challenges put forth, morning pages, 3 pages longhand. If you're up for the challenge, I would love to hear from you. You can drop us a note here. You can come over to Instagram, Above and Facebook, Above and DM us if you want to keep it confidential. Know that if you have any questions for us, we have a list of questions that people have submitted to us already that we're working through. If you have questions that you'd like for us to answer in future videos, or if it's a confidential question, DM us. Or if you're interested in coaching with myself or my partner, Amy, DM, you can get to us direct through any of the socials, and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.